Okay, we are heading to visit a creek. A creek that's owned by the university.
I think we're going to the zoo or something, man.
Yeah.
We are at OCU. Where are we?
Somewhere in the wilderness.
Yes, yes. And it's actually owned by our school. So this is
You're too short, ah. Ow!
this is day
Okay, can fit, can fit. Yeah.
This is day 10
Yeah, there you are, there you
of our
are.
trip, our OCU residency.
Okay, so that's poison ivy. This is poison ivy.
Yes. Honey, avoid this. That's right here. Poison ivy. How does it differ?
3 leaves.
3 leaves. Look at that. Oh, it touched me. 1, 2, 3. 3 leaves. Leaves of 3. Let it be. Leaves of 5. You will survive.
Nice.
That was good.
You can do this by your feet.
Right, we are going down. Whoa.
Whew. Okay, the other way down is a lot easier. That's why I don't come this way.
Nice.
Over where Dr. Ryburn is a lot easier. Come on down.
They look like rockets. So where are we heading? Oh. We are supposed to collect water samples from the creek.
Come on down. Quickly. Okay, you can see on the bank where the water comes to as it comes ripping through here. And there have been times, you see that piece of wood up there? There have been times when it's that high coming down through here. Now, one of the other things that I'll tell you is if you turn around, you'll see a lot of debris, tree debris in that direction. It used to be up there last year. Okay? So when we do have a rain event, it can wash tree debris like that down. Like I said, we collect the data while we're out here. We also do quite a bit of testing while we're out here. One of the other things, and we talked about this in the room, is we take the air temperature and the water temperature. Now, which one do we take first?
Air temperature. There's a snake crawling up a tree. Oh.
Get a picture of that. You know what kind that is?
It's not moving, right? Yes. It's gliding. Where? It's not moving now.
It's just that one.
Black?
Yeah, sorry. So there's a black snake right there. That's the snake.
Okay, do we take the air temperature first or the water temperature? This is another way to do the Secchi disc. And one of the things you're going to notice is that there's a little mini Secchi disc in the bottom. Okay, frequently this is used on lakes because there's so much lake. But we're going to use this here, and I'm going to use it in a way, I'm going to go out and roil up the water a little bit, collect a little bit of water. It'll just take me a second. Okay, so I'm going to go out here and make this a little bit cloudy. And I'm going to pour this down here. Now, what I'm going to do, and this will probably settle the whole time we're talking here, but what I'm going to do after I've poured this in here, I'm going to take this string, I'm going to look straight down in the tube, and I'm going to pull this string, and it's going to pull that little disc up through the column of water. Now, when that disc becomes visible to me, and as cloudy as it is, it's going to be pretty close to the top. As that disc becomes visible to me, that's going to be the reading. Now, if you don't have enough water to cut, there it is. Okay. So, okay. We're going to leave that in there for a little while. Okay. Now, I'm going to do the first part.
Okay.
Going on there. Right here. Yeah, leaves of 3. What we have is actually 1 leaf, but 3 leaflets. You got 1, 2, 3. Okay. 3 easy rectangles. If you know what to look for. You can notice not everything out here is just green. Right? There's actually a little bit of diversity to some of this stuff. All right, so it can be a vine. It can be like this. You look up the side of that tree where the snake was, a little green stuff coming off of it, or it's not. All this lime green colored leaves that are on the bank over there, poison out. You got some of the snakes there right there?
Yeah. The snake. There's the snake.
I don't know what kind of snake it is. It's Maclura pomifera. And pomifera refers to the type of fruit of it, like an apple. Okay? And if you look, I don't know if some of you saw on the ground, there's sort of a twistful size black thing. Oh, here's one up there. This little thing right there. Looks like something pooped it out. It's not poop. No, it's not scat. This is actually last year's fruit off of these trees. It actually gets about 3 times the size. About so big. Like a small bowling ball almost. And it's bright green. Almost like a tennis ball color. It's in the same family as jackfruit and breadfruit. So you may be familiar to those. But it's not edible. We don't eat this. Squirrels and other things really love this, but it's pretty toxic. It's got a lot of this milky latex, which this family has, the mulberry family has, which tend to mean that we don't eat them. And so this is what it looks like when it's all said and done. But you guys see the female, the little ball there? Got all these little hairy things coming off of it. Those are the stigma, which are going to capture the pollen as it flies by. You actually got quite a few male trees out here too, which will produce that pollen. And this thing will then, after it's matured, become about 6 times or 7 times that size. Right? So it's a pretty good size fruit. It gets so heavy, then it falls down the ground, and you see it on the ground all over the place. And so when you guys retake this class back in next December, and you have to come back after you're funking this class, you'll be able to see this thing after it's mature. Right? That's why I always tell my students, oh man, I really love this class. I said, well, you'll love it again next year. But you can see that white stuff coming out there? I poked that off, and that's the milky latex which this tree has. More of it in there. Now, that's just bleak.
We are in the forest. Yep.
This is a good example of beaver. activity. This is from a few years ago. You can still see the teeth marks in there where the beaver was chewing on that and chopped the tree down. So, good old beavers.
Still walking. Still walking. Oh,
I help.
you can.
Across the creek.
Woo! Yeah.
Sturdy. And right up the side there. Yep.
You okay, Jana? That was fun. No. Alright. Stop here, stop here. Wow. Empty. Alright, stop here.
And when we got this property, all of this you see all the way up the road and all the way as far as you can see that direction, it was all wheat pasture. It was all red wheat. And we didn't do anything to it. We just let it go back naturally. And it came back like this. Right? So the soil was plowed, it was barren, and then these plants came back. So what type of succession do you think happened here? Primary or secondary?
Secondary.
Obvious and secondary, right? Because there were plants here before. The soil was used for vegetation before. But we plowed it, just let it go back in. And so the first things you see coming in are these sort of opportunistic species, right? These pioneering species, which are annual weeds. And then the next year you get different things. So what we're seeing here, last summer actually, this time last year, Break Singapore group out, we didn't have nearly as many woody things out here. Those are things that have come in since then and have been occupying this habitat because they can't. There's nothing to compete against. You go in there, you compete against all that stuff. Out here you don't have to. And so you get that Osage orange that are relative to the breadfruit out here.
Are there no beavers inside?
Not right now, probably. Although there is signs of beaver here.
Dude, this guy is steep. Don't fall, man.
That's the beaver dam. You see the water back up behind it. And it's flowing on this side of it.
Oh.
So water's percolating through there.
Am I in your way?
No, no. It's okay. It's a video.
Oh,
It's
I
fine.
see.
You can.
Nice place. Oh. What? Excuse me. Sorry. Oh, we're going back already. Alright, we're heading back. It's a nice time out in the wild. It's a long way back.
Are you alright?
Yeah, but it's nice. Yeah.
They used to take the fur off of them because the fur was very nice to make clothing.
So that was shoot by a
That
beaver.
was a chunk that it took.
What's that?
That's a bite that it took out of the wood.
One bite.
There's several of them down here.
This is one bite.
That's one bite. Take it if you want to.
Awesome.
is a beaver? Oh, they can get. They're about like that. They're a big rodent, but then they can have a big tail on them as well.
Awesome.